It's Rick and Patty from the KORD Morning Show. Thanks for listening. We really appreciate it.
And, of course, you can always catch us anywhere and everywhere with our KORD mobile app. It's free for you in the App Store as well in Google Play.
There's El King, Miranda Lambert, drunk, don't want to go home. 6:10. Is it too soon to say Ingrid Andress, go home? Even El King had a situation a while back with the drinking.
Well, people are human.
They are, absolutely.
You know, they make mistakes.
I'm not done, just make a little comedy this morning. But
I hear ya.
Ingrid Andress and even El King, remember she had done a show where she had slurred and put herself into rehab too. Because she was like, okay, that was a horrible performance. I need some help. So anyway, thoughts and prayers. Ingrid Andress. El King, I think, is recovered.
I think so.
But just throwing it out there. If you're writing songs about getting drunk, I mean, what do you expect, right? Absolutely. All right, 6:11. Great to be with you. 71 sunshine. Getting ready for your Friday. You ready for the weekend, Patty?
I was born ready for the weekend, Rick.
Woo! Heat advisory in effect. What is it?
It's through Monday.
Yeah.
We're going to get up to like 110. So stay hydrated.
Yeah.
Water's king here.
Well, normally, you know me well enough to know, normally I'm a Pepsi guy. See, I got my Pepsi, right?
I see that.
But I was out at the live broadcast yesterday, and guess what I had? A whole liter of water.
Yeah, I hear you.
And I went through it. Like within a half hour to 45 minutes, I was like, I didn't bring enough water. It was so hot out there yesterday.
I know it.
So today 103, low tonight 60, tomorrow 105, Sunday 108. The good news is next week we're going to get a little reprieve in the 90s, but then we jump back to the hundreds towards the end of
I can't believe it. But you know what? They told us this is going to be one of the hottest summers on record.
I called it. I'm going to take credit right now because when we had this very mild winter, I said, it's going to be a scorcher.
It is.
It's going to be a scorcher this summer.
Yep.
All right, let's get your day started. We're going to work on some Facebook fun, Nashville news, grab a cup of coffee, dig in. Let's get going. You got Rick and Patty, KORD.
We love to hear from you, and it's easier than ever to reach out. Just open up the Cord mobile app and send us an app chat message, or you can contact us the old-fashioned way at 509-547-KORD. Number one for New Country, 1027 KORD. Have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? Make sure you have our app, so when you connect your device, we can go everywhere together.
622, number one for New Country. It's 1027 KORD. You got Rick, you got Patty. Good morning. Happy Friday. Right now, 71 degrees for you, sunshine. Oh, sad news yesterday. Bob Newhart passed away.
I know.
My gosh. And of course, us growing up in the 70s, the Bob Newhart show, and then Newhart, and then he even had a short-lived sitcom called Bob. And then this next generation, of course, knows him better from the Big Bang Theory, Professor Neutron, or Proton. Professor Proton, is it? So, anyway, the great Bob Newhart. And the crazy thing about Bob Newhart, 1960, he was one of the very first comedians, long before Eddie Murphy, long before Kevin Hart, to have a comedy album that was number one.
Oh, I didn't even know that.
Yeah, it was number one. He got a Grammy for Best Album of the Year over all the musical acts, and a Grammy for Best New Artist in 1960. And he was
no clue.
And he was not a musical artist. So when you look at the Grammy, all the winners of why is Bob Newhart? Because he's not a singer.
You're like, what?
Yeah. Anyway, so
he was 94.
Yeah, what an incredible career though. But just seeing that passing yesterday, I know a lot of people were like, "Oh, Bob Newhart."
I know.
And he's just a super nice guy too. All around. I don't think I've ever heard any disparaging comments about Bob Newhart.
Well, I remember, as a child watching, he had that TV show, with Bob and Carol and Jerry the dentist. Bob Newhart.
Absolutely.
His wife.
Absolutely.
Carol.
So sad to report the passing of that of the great Bob Newhart. All right, to get your day started, here you go. Do you still own or watch VHS movies? Do you have any VHS? I do have.
I've got Purple Rain on VHS.
Oh, geez, that's a good one.
I know.
Do you have the VHS player anymore?
No, I don't.
No.
I don't.
I was looking around.
I don't even have a DVD player anymore.
Yeah, we've got a DVD.
Nope.
Our DVD player is like stuck in a drawer somewhere. It exists. It's there, but it's not plugged in anymore.
And also, I mean, let's think about this now. Redbox, where you could rent DVDs, they're done.
Yeah.
Kaput.
Yeah. Streaming killed them. Streaming literally just killed Redbox. I remember when Redbox came along, I went, oh, this is going to kill Blockbuster Hollywood, right? because you just go right there and get your movie,
Yep.
you know, and it did because it was.
I know you can go to Winco and then on your way out, or even Walmart, get a DVD.
And the big deal about them, it was like a buck a movie.
$1.
Yeah, $1 where you had to keep it for a week at Blockbuster for $6.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, remember, and if
Yeah.
you didn't rewind, you got an
Yeah.
extra fine.
Right, all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, it's almost like they just ate their young because like you said, Blockbuster, Hollywood, VHS, yeah.
Well, I mean, oddly enough, kids will never know. I mean, I remember being in Blockbuster years ago, and dang, they're out of this copy of whatever
of course,
it was.
Absolutely. So there you go. That's going to be the fun Facebook fun.
VHS.
Do you still own and watch VHS movies? What do you got, too? Because Patty just said that she has Purple Rain. So I believe we got some Disney movies like Lion King and different.
Well, I remember like working with people and they had massive VHS
I had. I don't know what happened to all those collections, but I had friends who had the whole wall.
Right,
was like,
yeah.
Yeah. What happened,
Now
guys?
what?
Let us know. 547 KORD app chat us. What happened to those movies? You got Rick and Patty. KORD.
You're waking up with the Cord Morning Show. #1 for New Country. 1027 KORD.
I'm going to say another hit.
I like it.
I know. Lies.
Look into my eyes,
I know. Oh, my
eyes,
goodness.
eyes.
That's another Morgan Wallen big song. Of course, he's heading out on the road there with Hardy and Ernest. But, man, good stuff.
That's a party.
That is a party. Morgan Wallen's latest. 6:38. You got Rick, you got Patty. What's going on in Nashville?
So there's an all-star tribute for the late Toby Keith, and it debuts this summer on NBC. The concert featuring performances from Eric Church, Luke Bryan, Carrie Underwood, Jelly Roll, and several others. Toby Keith, American Icon, is happening at Nashville's Bridgestone Arena. It'll be July 29th. It will air 1 month later on NBC with NBC. That is, proceeds will go to benefit the Toby Keith Foundation. OK Kids Corral. Toby passed away in February after a battle with stomach cancer. He was only 62. Season 26 of The Voice premieres Sunday, September 23rd. NBC is your network. This season will feature some big changes with first-time coaches Snoop Dogg and Michael Bublé joining the team. They'll be joined by Reba and Gwen Stefani. NBC The Voice made that announcement on Thursday on its social media pages, and it referred to the judges as the Dream Team.
Oh, wow.
Dollywood back open after a water main break. That happened Wednesday morning. The theme park shut down while maintenance crews had to repair the leak. Folks who purchased tickets for that day were offered refunds. Splash Country and resort properties were not affected. And finally, Post Malone told People magazine that he moved to Utah. I feel like he's part of something bigger. He says, without sounding corny, it feels like you're in part of something bigger, but you're so insignificant that you can just say, I accept everything around me. Post Malone says he's relaxed. He says he's at peace. He says you go out there and you look at that night sky and everything gets put into perspective. Utah, who knew? Those are your trending headlines.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show. #1 for New Country. 1027 KORD.
1027 KORD is out and about with Ranch and Home making hometown moments. Ranch and Home is randomly awarding unsuspecting Tri-Cityans. Now, you never know when a Ranch and Home hometown moment might happen to you. Maybe in the coffee drive-thru, at the grocery store checkout, at the gas station.
And all we want to do is put a smile on people's faces, and that's what this is all about.
Thank you, Ranch and Home. That's awesome. You made my day.
Ranch and Home, they're here for you with your #1 for New Country, 1027 KORD.
It's a boozy, it's a bar song, Tipsy, and #1 for New Country, 1027 KORD, 652. You got Rick, you got Patty. Just throwing out there, Shabuzi should be at next year's Pendleton Whiskey Music Fest. Just throwing it out there. Maybe at next year's Watershed.
Maybe.
Shabuzi's got #1 record right there for you. All right, you got Rick, you got Patty. Good morning, 71 degrees, sunshine. So, Patty.
What?
I don't know if we...
What?
I'm sure
Rick?
you've told me in the past.
Rick?
Did you have a childhood pet at all?
Yeah, we had a cat named Siam.
Okay. And how many years did Siam
Oh,
live?
she was forever.
She was
like
forever.
18, 19 years. Yeah,
Wow.
she got to be an elderly kitty cat with us.
Is that where you're...
It wasn't my cat, but it was the family's pet.
Right, I know, but is that kind of sort of... Not that you prefer dogs or cats, but I've always thought of you as more of a cat person than a dog
I've
person.
always had a cat.
Right.
I've always had a cat.
Yeah. So is that kind of because of your childhood you've always
Maybe,
had a cat?
probably so.
You know?
Probably so.
So, And then when that cat passed away, did you guys go get another cat? Or
No.
well, that was it. That was it. So
We
we're
had guinea pigs. and,
okay. So you had other little animals.
yeah.
So
Gerbils.
We're going to talk about
hamsters.
this. We're going to talk about this coming up in
What?
other people's problems because there's this family that wants to get a dog. One half the family is like, yeah, let's get the dog.
Well, you got to take care of that dog.
Well, it's
that
not
dog
even-
needs to be walked.
It's not even about the taking care of the dog.
What
it's
is it?
it's about the heartbreak of it all because the dog eventually will pass away.
well, that's
You know, and so one person that wants to save
doesn't
the,
want to go through that.
Well, I will say
it's a tough day when you have to put your pet down.
Well, I remember when I got my dog Joe, and Pearl, my foster mom, my beloved foster mom, didn't want me to have the dog. She didn't like it. It was hacking, it was wheezing, it was old. And I remember my foster dad, Russell, goes, every boy needs a dog.
Oh,
And she said, okay, well, you're gonna get this dog. She goes,
better
but
take
you're
care of it.
You're gonna pay for its medicine.
Yeah.
You're gonna anytime he gets anything that happens to it. And I did.
You had to care for
I
Joe?
did. But when Joe passed away, I was.
Did you name him?
Yeah, his name's Joe. So
But you named him.
yeah,
Okay.
his name was Joe. But when Joe passed away, it took me 20 years to get another. I mean, I
know.
I couldn't.
Yeah.
I just couldn't do it. Now today, of course, we have all rescue dogs. But as I told Megan, because my first dog was a border collie.
Yeah.
I always have to have a border. So because we have Berkeley. I do have he's a mix, but I do have a border. I have a border. So it's from childhood, but the same thing as your cat. I got to have people love their breeds, right?
Sure.
I've got to have a border collie.
Oh, I know. I had one dog, and it took me years.
Yeah, once it's gone.
Now that I have DJ.
And now what's interesting, we're older now, right? So now I'm one of those people like, I'd go get another rescue because Phoebe sadly passed away,
Right.
but we went and got Bodie immediately because there's a lot of
Everybody's different.
but there's a lot of
Everybody's
rescue
different.
animals out there that
Yes,
need it. So I look back at my 20 years of not having a dog, and I went, oh my gosh, how many dogs could I have rescued or had? That would have filled my life with
Yes,
joy.
yes.
Rather than going, I'm not going to ever get another dog because that one dog was so special to me. So we'll talk about it coming up. I think it's interesting. Heather will do our best to solve it for you. We'll talk more about what's actually going on in that family. We were just kind of walking down memory lane because I wanted to tie you into this and see how you felt when you read the story. And
Sure.
what would you do in that
get it.
situation? It's Rick and Patty. It's KORD.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show, #1 for New Country, 1027 KORD.
Gordon Davis singles you up 7-11, #1 for New Country. It's 1027 KORD. You got Rick, you got Patty. Great to be with you. On the way, rodeo tickets. Walla Walla PRCA Rodeo. Give you a chance to win those tickets coming up this morning at 7:20. Before we get to that, though, Heather's got a situation going on. What's going on with Heather here?
Rick and Patty, a civil war has broken out amongst my family members. Everyone in the family except my husband wants to get a dog. He says we shouldn't get one because it will only lead to heartbreak. Well, I had a dog when I was younger, and it taught me responsibility and love, and I want my kids to experience that same thing. My husband says getting a dog is a waste of time because it'll eventually die and lead to heartbreak. He says no kid should have to suffer through that. I think that's part of all learning about life. I don't believe when my parents agreed with my husband. What do you think? Is my husband right about the heartbreak thing? Should we get a dog? Heartbreak versus happiness? Which is it? Which would you choose, Heather and Kennewick?
Well, you know how I feel about it. The photo is the only photo I have of my dog Joe. That's it. My foster sister sent this to me a couple weeks back.
Oh, wow.
And that's
Yeah.
that's from the night. That is, you can tell that is, I got the little so that's Polar Bear, and that's Joe. When Joe passed away, I had moved back. My dad had come and gotten us. My biological dad had come and gotten us, all of his kids together. So Joe went with us. So Joe did,
your dad let you. Your
well,
real
yo,
dad let you have Joe.
that's a given. I mean,
Okay.
it was like I'm not leaving without Joe, right? But I remember the night that Joe passed away, and I felt my biological dad was very cruel because he knew Joe was having a heart attack, but he didn't take him to the vet. He didn't do anything. He just let Joe die. And I was in 7th grade, and I remember the next morning he made me go to school. To this day, I have never forgiven that situation to where I needed to stay home. It's 7th grade. I need to stay home. And anyway, we buried Joe in the back of the place we lived. But
That was hard. I know it had to be. You were probably crying all day long.
I'm on the
Man.
bus, 7th grade. I'm not, and I'm already not the cool kid. Okay, I'm already not a
Yes.
popular kid. you know, and I'm on the bus and I'm crying. People are like, why are you crying? Why are you crying? Oh, my dog died. Man, you know, and the
Yes.
kids are mean.
Oh, my heart
7th grade,
breaks.
junior high. So I've never forgiven my dad for not letting me stay home that day. But that dog meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Took me 20 years to get over him. So, but today I'm like, now I can't live. We have 3 dogs. We got dogs all the time. We got dogs everywhere.
And
Yeah.
you just have feelings. I remember when we had to put Davy down.
Yeah.
And Jeff, we turned around. He goes, I can't do it.
Right.
We turned, and I said, well, we have to.
We have to.
He
Yeah.
let us know.
Yep.
It's now time.
Yeah, yeah.
And man, I didn't go to work the next day.
The hardest thing to do is be in the room, but you've got to be in the room. I know. It's hard.
Some people can't though.
I know. I
You
get
know,
it. I get
no, everybody
but,
handles grief differently.
But we had a
It's-
coworker, Amanda, who's got Hamilton ham and cheese. I like to call him ham and cheese.
Yeah.
And she said that her family dog had passed away, and she couldn't be there. And she said her biggest regret
was not.
was like she
Yeah.
stood outside of the room, and she goes, now it's totally changed. That yes,
It's hard. It's
she
hard. It's
understands
difficult.
that you got to be in there when you have to do these things. So Heather, we'll do our best to solve this for you. Man, I don't know. What do you think, Patty? Do you think that get the dog?
I would get
Get
the
a res-
dog.
get a
I would-
rescue.
I
Get a
would
rescue.
Get the dog.
Get the dog. Trust me, it'll change your life. It will. It'll change your life, no doubt about it.
Well, you can't sugar. I mean, everybody dies.
Yeah.
It's a part of life.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and a great example too. I understand responsibility because Barkley, our border collie, we got him for Kyron, but he never really warmed up to I mean, he loves Barkley, but he never looked at it as his dog. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's interesting that Barkley follows me around like
Yeah, he's your dog. Yeah, you get it. I get it.
It wasn't meant to be that way. But he was in junior high, and yeah, he loves the dogs, but he didn't have an affinity towards Barkley, right? Now his girlfriend and him have a dog, Rocco, you know, and it's amazing how, you know, and
It's their dog.
but he even made a comment. You know, he's an adult now. He's 21. He goes, I should have, you know. I don't know. He just says anyway. I don't know exactly what he said about the dog, but he just said, I wish I would have spent more time with
Barkley.
He
Yeah.
because I understand why Barkley goes to is always with Rick no matter what, because he didn't throw
Dogs pick their people.
Well, he didn't throw the ball when he was,
No,
you know, I mean,
no.
we've had Barkley. Barkley's 12 and we've had him since he's a puppy, and he didn't go out and toss the ball or play with Barkley. I play with Barkley every border call.
know.
You got him. So, all right, Heather. So that is the situation you could get into with the kids where they don't. So what do you do? We want to know. 547 KORD app chat us. What would you do? We want to know. You got Rick and Patty.
The Cord Morning Show with Rick and Patty. Back with more next on number 1 for New Country, 102.7 KORD.
Dumped some tickets on us yesterday, so that should get you excited about that. But we're not doing that right now. Just giving you a heads up on that. But we are excited for Watershed this year with Old Dominion, Hardy, and of course that guy right there, Luke Bryan, play it again. 727. Let's send you off to the Walla Walla PRCA Rodeo. Yeah, let's do it.
Yep, we've got tickets for August 29th, 6 p.m. You want to go? We will take lucky caller number 7 at 547 KORD.
She said it. Caller 7. Caller 7 wins next. Good luck. 1027 KORD.
We love to hear from you, and it's easier than ever to reach out. Just open up the Cord mobile app and send us an app chat message, or you can contact us the old-fashioned way at 509-547-KORD. Number 1 for New Country, 102.7 KORD. Have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? Make sure you have our app, so when you connect your device, we can go everywhere together.
To you. Going to be a warm one. Heat advisory in effect, 103 for the high today. Patty's going to be out at Walker's. She'll be out there from 11 to 1 with some rodeo tickets, too.
Yeah, we'll bring plenty.
Yeah, I like that. Go on, head out and see her. And, of course, right there under the big tent,
Get a new sofa.
get a new sofa. All the great deals, great values right there at Walker's. Jeff and the gang, they're always great. So go see them today.
It's always a great time.
It is. And you can see Patty. If you've never met Patty, go by and say hi to Patty. Patty will take some selfies with you. Right? You'll do some thumbs up.
You are my biggest supporter. I
know.
love it, Rick.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm gonna let Patty. I'm gonna let you pick right now.
Pick what?
Tomorrow is National Fortune Cookie Day,
Oh.
and Sunday is National Junk Food Day. What do you want to talk
Well,
about?
I'm going junk food
Junk
naturally.
food, yeah.
I bought a bunch of it.
You did? Yeah.
It was Amazon Prime. How could you not?
That's right. She loaded up, right? So your favorite guilty junk food pleasure? What's your favorite?
Doritos.
Oh, Doritos are good.
Yeah.
I'm with you. Now, do you like all varieties of Doritos? Or just
I'm a
the
nacho cheese fan.
Yeah, nacho's the
That's
best,
just
right?
it. What about you?
I was trying to think. For me, it's got to be Nutter Butters. Oh, I love Nutter.
Yeah.
Nutter Butters.
Peanut butter cookies?
I cannot. Yeah, if I buy a box of Nutter Butters, that entire thing will be gone in a day.
I get it.
And that's probably 40,000 calories.
It's kind of like when the Girl
Yeah.
Scout cookies.
Yeah.
You know, when those
Oh.
are available. But I remember I wanted Nutter Butters when I was a kid, and my mom said, absolutely not. There's 8 in a package, Patty Joe. I threw a fit.
Wow.
Didn't matter.
Didn't
Nope.
matter. And you never got the Nutter Butters?
Never got 'em.
Wow.
Now, when I do buy cookies, guess what I'm buying?
Nutter Butters, exactly. Because I'm an adult, Mom.
Heck yeah.
I'm an adult, Mom.
That's exactly right.
Well, they have these also, they also have the Nutter Butter patties now that are different too. So they have the cookies, but then they've got it in like shingles. I'm like, oh, just what I need is shingles, right? like a roofing shingle in my mouth. Bring it on.
So you're talking junk food. Okay, let's
Yeah.
go. Let's take that a step further with your love for peanut butter.
Okay.
Our coworker Jamie
Yeah.
had like the biggest peanut butter cup
Oh.
I've ever seen.
Yeah,
when did that come out?
looking at that, I probably would go into sugar shock on that particular.
I know.
'Cause it was 3 pounds? She said something like that. It was like in some. I'm like, oh, I can't. I'm like, yeah.
I don't know. But I was like, that's the biggest Reese's peanut butter cup I've ever seen.
We call that Wilford Brimley's, diabetes.
Oh,
when I
no.
see something like that, I'm like, nope, I can't go there. That's
Oh, man.
yeah. So we're gonna have some fun with you. 547 KORD. What's your favorite guilty junk food pleasure? Have you ever hidden the junk food?
Oh.
my wife always, because she's a big CrossFit nut, is like,
Don't even bring it into the house.
Yeah, she doesn't even want it in the
Don't
house.
be tempted.
So yeah, and did you hide it? Did you get busted? Did you tell your significant other, oh, I won't be eating junk food, and then you eat junk food? We'll take some calls. 547 KORD. There's some good stories around this. It's 1027 KORD.
You're waking up with the Cord Morning Show. Number 1 for New Country. 1027 KORD.
Carrie Underwood, before he cheats. They've been talking about replacing Katy Perry on American Idol, and we were talking about the OG, Kelly Clarkson. Well, what about Carrie?
I know.
Carrie would be great, too.
That's where she got her start.
And I heard that Luke Bryan will be jumping off American Idol anyway. So, because usually they have only one country person there.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah. So I think in the future he was talking about that. Yeah,
I know they were talking about it.
Yeah. But if he jumps off, well, then you can bring Carrie aboard.
Oh, she'd be amazing.
Or you could bring again the OG Kelly Clarkson aboard. I think that'd be fantastic. All right, Sunday, National Junk Food Day. What's your favorite guilty junk food pleasure? Places you hide the junk food. We have a pantry.
Chips and dip.
We have a pantry, and my wife always complains if I bring any cookies or chips because she wants to stay on her diet. So she's
Is she
always
tempted by your stuff?
yeah. I'm like, honey, just don't eat it. But she
If
says,
it's there,
Yep, exactly.
And
I
get it.
So the difference between my wife and I, we're moody. I'm a mood eater. So you could put a steak, you could put Nutter Butter, you could put anything in front of me, and if I don't feel like eating it,
You just won't.
I won't do it. So
You're not tempted.
chips and all that stuff, if it's in the cupboard, until I'm ready to eat it, then I'll eat it, right?
Yes.
So it can stay there for weeks or months. But for her, she's like, no, if it's in there, I'm going to eat it.
I hear you.
So her and I are different
I'm that way.
You're right. Oh, so you're the person that if it's in there.
If it's in there, I'll go for it.
right.
Yep.
But Jeff just lets it sit there for long periods of
He
time.
never buys anything good. I mean, he just doesn't.
Well, that's one way to keep you out of it.
I mean,
yeah, exactly.
you know.
What has he got? Seaweed chips or something?
No, he doesn't. He just doesn't buy anything.
You want to keep me out.
Well, wait a minute. I take that. Yesterday, he brought home Burger King.
Oh.
So, yes, I
Okay.
had a Whopper Jr.
there
I
you
just
go.
had a Whopper Jr. for breakfast.
Oh, I love it.
So, yes, if it's there, I'll eat it.
I would.
But that's, rare that he has that.
You had me convinced he was buying like seaweed chips or something.
no.
I'm like,
I wish
know.
he was
Yeah,
that
or
healthy.
Kale chips. No, never going to touch that as long as I
That's never going to happen
on this planet.
for either of us.
All right, 547 KORD, guilty junk food pleasure. Have you ever hidden the food? Taking the calls. Good morning, Cord.
Would Chinese food be considered as junk food?
Okay.
That
Yes.
would be considered my total junk food spot would be Chinese food.
Okay.
Like, I'm 24 weeks pregnant, so, like, I have to have Chinese food. It's a must. And the other day I told my husband, I said, you need to go get me Chinese food. He goes, no. Like, what the heck? He said no. I said, why? He goes, because we'd have to go too far, like, into a different town to go get some. I'm like, oh.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, you're Prager's, man. She's Prager's.
You get it.
Yeah,
If you're pregnant, you get whatever you want.
Have like get in the car, go get her some Chinese
Yes.
food. Absolutely. Junk food, International Junk Food Day on Sunday. We're having fun with it. 547 KORD. More of your calls on the way. You got Rick and Patty.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show. Number 1 for New Country. 1027 KORD. No need to wait for AI. Catch us now on Google Home and Alexa devices. Open our app for more info.
Heat advisory in effect. I know you wrote about it yesterday.
Yeah, excessive heat
Excessive.
warning.
It was. I've been going out to throwing the ball to the dog and kind of like, okay, we do it for 20 minutes. We're good. You
My
know?
dog is no good in this heat.
Yeah.
No, he just plops down on the ground.
He's
Look, he wants to get cool.
Yeah, he's
Poor thing.
He's done. But this excessive heat warning is in effect until what, 8 o'clock on Monday?
8 o'clock Monday night.
All right,
Yeah, careful.
Patty wrote all about it right there on the KORD mobile app. Also, Richland School District, shout out to those guys. Security upgrades for the next year. They've been doing a lot of work over there.
I hope
and
so.
we got 11 of the school district's security upgrades they're doing to the individual schools. And then as a kid, Field Spring State Park, one of my favorite little parks when I was a kid. I did my 7th birthday there. I had invited all my classmates to come.
What's so great about this park?
It's just a great little state park that you got to
Okay.
go visit. Invited all my friends when I was 7 years old, but I invited all my friends from school and nobody showed up. But
What?
Now my brother did. My little brother showed up for this party because it's out of town, so they would have had to.
It was a drive. It was a
Well,
ways.
10 miles. 10 miles, but but it was still a great 7th birthday party.
I bet it was.
And they've got teepees. They've got a lodge now. When I was a kid, they didn't have any of these fancy things they got now. But they got a lodge and they got teepees
Okay.
and an amazing viewpoint. Field Spring State Park. If you've never been, it's about 2.5 hours or so away from here.
Okay.
Go. I think it's one of the best. If you're talking best state park,
Yeah.
I was like, if you want to go see and isolated, and it's in the Blue Mountains, which, you can see the blues from here.
Sure.
So it's absolutely gorgeous. So check that out. Check out the weather. Of course, Richland School District. Just a lot of things going on that on our Facebook page and our website.
What do you know about Firehouse Subs?
I saw that. Wow. Yeah, that's a big story. Tell me about it.
So
Tell me.
I saw, our buddy Mike McCabe.
Yeah.
And I saw it on his Facebook. And he went and he learned that, they're going to be shutting down at the end of the month. So there are 5 Firehouse Subs here. And, I'll be sad if they're all going out. And guess what? It kind of looks that way.
Oh, geez.
I actually called.
Yeah.
And now the employee, she's like, I'm not 100% certain.
Right.
But, ask. And if you haven't been to Firehouse Subs, you better go get one.
Wow.
Before they do go out.
So we know the ones inside the Jackson's little mini marts. Those are going. Those are going away.
Well,
but
there are 2 that are closed right now: West Richland and Burbank.
So the only one that we don't know of is the standalone.
The one that's on Road 100.
Look at that. Look
Yeah.
at that. So, go get it. Go get it before it's gone, right? Get you some, as they say.
Absolutely, yeah.
Get you some. So, but a lot of people, Pizza Hut, Mod Pizza, man, everybody's
It's
struggling.
a tough time.
It is a
It
tough
is a
time.
way tough time.
It is, absolutely. So those articles, you can read them for free right now on the station mobile app.
Starting your day the right way with the Cord Morning Show. Number 1 for New Country. 1027 KORD. Have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto? Make sure you have our app, so when you connect your device, we can go everywhere together.
I love that guy, Brian Martin. It's called We Ride. It's 824. It's number 1 for New Country. It's 1027 KORD. I just love the rawness in the vocals.
I know.
I love that.
I
Love
do
that.
too.
Warm one for you right now, about 75 degrees for you, sunshine. And we are going to tie off this other people's problems. And I can 100% relate to this particular situation that's going on and what is going on with Heather.
Heather says a civil war is broken out in the family. Everyone in the family except the husband wants to get a dog. He says we don't need one. It's only going to lead to heartbreak. Heather says, I had a dog when I was young. It taught me responsibility and love, and I want my kids to know the same thing. Well, the hubby says getting a dog, just a waste of time. It's, going to die, lead to heartbreak. He says no kid should have to suffer through that. I think that's all part of learning about life. and I couldn't believe it when my parents agreed with my husband. What do you think? Do we get the dog or not?
Lots of comments on Facebook, and what are people saying?
Well, overwhelmingly, everybody's saying get the dog. Alicia says yes, but that's the worst part about being a pet owner. But you can't stop that from letting you do it. It's not like dating because you don't want to get heartbroken. I think owning a dog is such a benefit in life. And I also think maybe your husband had a dog when he was young that died and obviously left a huge hole.
Randy says, my ex was like 100%, but you know what? He was outvoted, and we got a dog, a small breed, because my kids were 4 and 5 at the time. He fell in love with her, and she became his dog. She lived 11 years, and he was heartbroken again. But he said he's glad we got her. So that's from Randy.
Yvette says, heartbreak is the price of love. Dogs teach us so much along the way, but they also teach us how we live through the pain of loss. Get one.
Yvette says, heartbreak is the price of love. Dogs teach us so much along the way and also teach us that we'll live through the pain of loss. Get one. That's Yvette. And they're all saying get one, right? Cross the board. Well, did you read Barbie? Your husband will eventually die, so maybe get rid of him so you all don't have to deal with that too.
Sarah says, I'll always choose to get the dog. The amount of unconditional love is worth it. Pam says you're going to suffer heartbreak when the dog dies, but that's part of life and love. I think it's a good idea. Get the dog for the same reasons you talked about. There's so many deserving animals that need homes right now.
Yeah, Bobby says trade the husband for a dog. Okay, don't do that. If you have time for a dog, if you have time, I like what she said. You have time for a dog. It's a good learning tool for kids, in my opinion. A lot of great.
Most people say get the dog,
and a lot of people say get rid of the husband and get yourself 2 dogs. I like Liz. Get rid of your husband, get 2 dogs. I will say that our shelters are so stuffed with animals right now, cats and dogs. I do a lot of work with pet overpopulation prevention, and we've got 88 dogs in our program, and we've got 100 and some cats, all looking for love. And I will tell you this, I made a mistake when I was younger because my childhood dog passed away, and I refused to get another dog for 20 years, and I'm at 20 years of not having a dog. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Looking back, I should have had a dog, you know? So they enrich your lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
I'm so glad I got DJ. You've got your 3.
DJ was a stray. He showed up here one day,
freezing out there.
He was freezing. She took him in, and literally from the moment that they met, it was her dog. And then you called animal control 30 days after you registered him.
I followed all the rules.
You followed all the rules, and no one claimed him. And now DJ is. He's your guy.
He completes our family.
He does. He's amazing. And your 2 cats are like,
they love him. Maybe not.
They're like, what the heck is this dog? And no, anyway. But yeah, almost everybody's saying get the dog. It's good. It's a good lesson.
Right.
And I'm always amazed. Those who say don't get a cat, don't get a dog, end up being the owner. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. End up every single time they end up falling in love.
Of course.
With it becomes their animal. It's amazing.
You'll see.
You will see. You'll see. So Heather, good luck. Let us know how it turns out. I think we're pretty optimistic on this that you guys are getting the dog. Get the dog. Good luck. 102.7 KORD.
The Cord Morning Show with Rick and Patty. Back with more next on number 1 for New Country, 102.7 KORD.